Hi, this is Second Take, as you guys know, and my name's Anthony, and of course that's Jill. And we got a lot to talk about today, especially in the college football world. Jill, you want to get us started on a Texas UCLA game?
All right, I promised Anthony I had a rant, so I'm about to give you all this rant. I went to the game in Dallas at Cowboys Stadium with my dad, and I ranted to him for 2 hours, basically. He was stuck with me about everything that went wrong. So for those who didn't watch, UCLA was ranked 12th going into it. Texas is unranked. We went in there. We were very confident. Is UCLA that good? No, they're really not that good. They do have a really good running back, but that's all they got. So game gets started, low scoring, everything's fine, but we did start off weirdly. So UCLA won the coin toss and deferred, but then we said we wanted to give them the ball for both halves or something. Whatever happened, they got the ball to start both halves. So that was weird. Probably not a good sign. We're going through the game. We have Tyrone Swoop starting at quarterback, and I've always said he is not the quarterback Texas needs. He is not dominant enough. If it was not for Jackson Shipley, Tyrone probably would have had 5 interceptions. He was overthrowing the ball, underthrowing it, throwing it behind, throwing it to the ground, doing everything except hitting the receivers on point. Like, he just was not doing it. John Harris got a huge catch that was overthrown it, but he pulled it in. That was all John. It was not Tyrone. Tyrone did a terrible job, in my opinion. For some reason, everybody else says different, but I think it's because everyone's sick of hating on the quarterback, but I don't mind it. So I'm going to do it. He's a very slow runner. He is not what we need. I wish we had David Ash, but he's gone. Gerard Hurd is the next in line, and supposedly he's probably not going to be much different than Tyrone. We got that. Defense was awesome. Defense did a great job. I loved it. They were all, you know, rushing the quarterback. They felt pressured. The only thing is that UCLA running back, he just destroyed us. I mean, he didn't destroy us, but he ran more than he should have. Our running backs could not do the same. We were running into the line because that's what we love to do because that's the greatest play, right? Running into the line because it's not like they're going to stop you because there are these huge guys at the line. So we got no rushing yards because we keep doing that. Or we do a screen pass to the side and get maybe a yard. So that's great. And then, of course, we're about to win this game. There's 5 minutes left. We just scored a touchdown. Everything is feeling great. And then we give them the ball, and they have a huge return. They had 2 plays over 60 yards, which is just unacceptable. Even though I said the defense was good, it's special teams that was not that good. Issue. And then they get the ball back. Of course, they score. And then, we get it. We try to go for it on fourth down. And what did Tyrone do? He threw a screen pass for 2 yards, and we needed a first down. It's stuff like that that I literally cannot take anymore. We have been a rebuilding team for the past 5 years. We won a national championship 5 years ago. Or no, we lost actually, but we made it to the national championship. That's the point. We won in the hearts, okay? So it's been 5 rebuilding years, and we should have been rebuilt by now. I think that's over. We cannot keep saying this is a rebuilding year. It's either we suck or we're going to start fixing it now. There's no reason we should have lost that game. That game was ours. We had it in the bag. What we need is a new quarterback. I don't care where you find him, but find him. Because Tyrone is not leading this team to a national championship. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but I know what this team needs, and nobody can tell me otherwise because I've been a Texas fan longer than most people, coming on 20 years on Monday. And I can't take it anymore. We are not going to succeed with a quarterback like that. We need a dominant quarterback who is just going to be a presence on the field that you can't mess with. Look at Colt McCoy, same thing. Vince Young, same thing. That's a successful quarterback for Texas. We don't have it right now, and I'm annoyed, and I need everybody to listen to me and do what I say because I know it's right for this team, and we should have won that game. And now we have a bye week this weekend, and the first game in October is Baylor, and Baylor's been on fire. And that's at home, but it's still probably going to be extremely difficult. We're now 1-2. I refuse to be 1-2. I almost want to go back and play that game again because we should not be 1-2. I just can't believe it. We should have won that game. Everybody knows it. And I'm annoyed, and that was my rant.
Well, as we can tell, Jill's a little mad about that game. And I do agree, you guys do need to rebuild. But other words in the college football world, we have Ohio State winning 66-0, big game. We have USC losing to Boston College. How do you feel about that, Jill?
You know, I've always said USC is just one of those great teams. Always will be. Historically, one of the best teams in college football. Before Alabama became Alabama, that was USC. You know, their program's very rich. They're a great team. They're always good for some reason. It's kind of annoying, but I don't know why they blew this game. I don't know how they did it. But it's just kind of one of those things. It's like when you expect USC to be good, when you have high hopes for them, they let you down. But when it's the other way around, they'll come up out of nowhere and be good. So, I mean, this is a bad loss, obviously, but if they can continue to be successful the rest of the season, it shouldn't hurt them that bad. But losing to Boston College is definitely not one thing you want.
Yeah, I agree. When looking at USC, I'm kind of noticing they can only be the underdogs. They only win when they're the underdogs, it seems like. And when they're on top, they decide to lose. As you guys know, a few years back, well, not a few anymore. That was a long time ago, but you guys did upset USC in the national championship, so they were the favorites, but they lost. USC, it seems like their players get lax when they feel a little bit of when they feel comfortable, and that's coaching. Obviously, they've had coaching problems ever since Pete Carroll left, so they're going to need to fix that. But yeah, USC, yeah, they're nothing no more. But they, I thought they got their swagger back. Guess not.
All right. According to Anthony, one loss and they're out. They're done.
Yeah, it's USC. I don't like USC. They can go away. And Boise State did beat Connecticut, so that's a good win. Boise State doing well, 2-1, so doing a little better than Texas. Switch records.
All right. Are you playing real teams? Really? Are you supposed to celebrate a win over Connecticut? Come on.
All right. Anyway, now switching from college football, let's go on to NFL football. Adrian Peterson, what's up with all this?
All right. So I'm sure this has been on the news. Adrian Peterson was indicted all the way in Minnesota from Texas for child abuse because he whipped his kid with a branch. That's a lot of parents do that. It's how they discipline their children. Adrian Peterson said he was raised this way, so he raises his kids the exact same way, which I think is fine. I personally did not have that experience growing up, but I know plenty of people who did, so I don't see anything wrong with it. People are saying it's generational, that this has died out, but if kids my age, 20 years old, have had this happen to them, it's clearly not as big of a generation thing as people think. So I think this is getting extremely blown out proportion. People are saying he should be gone forever or out of the league, banned from the league for child abuse. This was not child abuse in my opinion. I mean, sorry if this comes off insensitive, but that's not child abuse. He was disciplining his kid. I think his kid was being a brat, deserved it, and now he's going to be a brat and tell on him and try to get his father sent to jail, which is just, this turned into a whole mess out of nothing, and I don't think he did anything wrong. Maybe that's wrong of me to say, but
again, I totally agree. I think the NFL is going this way out of proportion. He obviously, Adrian Peterson, he's kind of a big dude. I mean, if there were little lacerations or there was a little mark on his kid, obviously you're gonna have a mark when you discipline your kid if you're hitting them. I mean, most kids my age, I know, and when I grew up, were hit with belts and stuff because that's how we were disciplined. And I turned out to not do dumb stuff. So obviously it worked. Now that the NFL doesn't think that's right, I don't think they have the right to take away Adrian Peterson's right to play. They haven't yet. And I'm glad the Vikings are sticking behind him, unlike the Ravens, Ray Rice. They were behind him before and like Swiss. I think the Vikings are doing a great job of sticking behind their player. He couldn't play this last game, but he will play. I've heard he will play next week, so let's hope he can do well and overcome this hardships. Adrian Peterson just lost a son. He was very hurt by it. Obviously, he cares about his children. Obviously, he doesn't just want to beat a bunch of his children. So I think the NFL is going way out of proportion. They need to stop. AP is a great player. He's very honorable in my opinion, and I think that this is all blown out of proportion.
Yeah, I mean, he's my favorite player in the NFL. Even though he's a Sooner, we've moved past it. And he is not some evil person who's going out and beating children. I mean, my dad actually thought that he beat a random kid. And when I told him, no, that was his son, I was like, oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. If Adrian Peterson was going around beating up little kids, that'd be a different story. That's child abuse. Disciplining your kid, I don't think is child abuse. I mean, especially in Texas where it happened, you're in the South, that type of stuff is kind of normal. So he had to go turn himself in. He flew to Texas, turned himself in, bailed himself out of jail, went back to Minnesota, couldn't play on Sunday. Yeah, we're just waiting around right now, but Adrian Peterson's not some like evil guy. Yeah, he's really strong. Everyone knows that. It's known about him. So he probably did accidentally hit him a little too hard, and that's why there's marks. But this is getting blown out of proportion, and the thing that drives me so crazy about this is that the Ray Rice situation took months for anything to happen. Adrian Peterson immediately. Child abuse, it was just like, oh, that's like, you can't forgive that. Unforgivable. Go to jail.
Yeah.
But
And
Ray
you know
Rice
what?
knocked his wife out, and oh, he did that.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Honestly, Adrian Peterson not being able to play hurt the Vikings way worse than it hurt the Ravens because the Vikings actually lost to the Patriots 30-7. So they were killed. But in some other scores in the NFL, Cardinals, they won 25-14. The Giants, they suck. We know this. The Chiefs lost to the Broncos 24-17. The Broncos, great team. Texans, they won. They beat the Raiders 30-14. The Bears, they won 28-20 against the San Francisco 49ers, who I would like to say just don't play well. As a Cowboys fan, me watching Colin Kaepernick's stats look just like Romo's in Week 1.
No.
So,
Let's say, first of all, Cowboys have nothing on the 49ers. The Bears actually just, like, came back, and they're like, hey, remember when we were good 7 years ago? We're going to try to do that again. Jay Cutler went beast mode. Beast mode. He was on it. Brandon Marshall had this one-handed snag that you've probably seen on SportsCenter Top 10 because it was amazing. They were on it. Like, it was a totally different Bears than we've seen, the past few years. The Bears that just look like, oh, God, they look terrible. You're watching this game like that's an NFL team. But in that 49ers game, they went in on it, and they won. They deserved that win.
they did. I give them their props. I do give them their props. I'm just saying that Kaepernick wasn't far off Romo. Just throwing that out there. But speaking of the Cowboys, we did beat the Titans 26-10. Rolando McClain with a great interception. I don't know if you saw it, but it was pretty amazing.
Wow, are you really proud about beating the Titans? The only thing they ever had was Chris Johnson after they got rid of Vince Young. Chris Johnson's not there anymore, so who is even still on the Titans?
Yeah. We're just not gonna talk about that. But anyway, switching from football to basketball, the USA and the FIBA World Championships we won. That was expected. We are the best country when it comes to basketball. You have anything to elaborate on that?
It's just nobody cared about that, and it's kind of sad because I feel like we probably should have, but it was kind of one of those things that I got the alert USA won, and I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, exactly. I was more impressed by them doing the shmoney dance after they won than the actual win. But
I mean, you're right. It was expected. Like when just like in the Olympics, USA has to win. It's like if we don't win, that's embarrassing because we are the NBA. I mean, plain and simple. So I didn't know it was even in question for us to lose this, and I never even knew FIBA existed before this happened. So like.
No, I didn't either, and that disappoints me because I really pay attention to basketball, so I was kind of confused.
It must be like a little secret. And I'm a little offended you didn't bring up the fact my Eagles beat the Colts. That was a very big win on Monday Night Football, and I am very proud of my Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Y'all got it. Look at us. We look good. Super Bowl coming your way. Champs.
Well, it looks like you got me. I tried to skip the Eagles, but I can't. And the Eagles did do the best last week. And speaking of the best, let's talk about Floyd Mayweather, who is the best boxer of our era. What do you think about the fight?
Well, I mean, he won somehow. He's now 47-0, which is great. But he gave himself a C- grade because he did not do his best. And the way Floyd hypes himself up. I mean, I read that he got paid 800 yeah, $888,000 per minute of that fight. So if I was him, I was gonna like drag that fight out. But the issue with Floyd, the complaints about him is that he's become all about the money. I mean, he calls himself Money Mayweather. So, and when you're getting paid that much per minute, yeah, you do get it about the money. And it seems like his head isn't on right when it comes to boxing, and he says he's retiring next year, I think, and he has 3 more fights, so he's hoping to be 50-0 in his career as a boxer. But the way he played, just from highlights I saw and stuff, he wouldn't have been able to beat Pacquiao playing with like that. And when he's playing that badly, people are going to see how weak you are and see how to get him. Like, he got hit in the face quite a few times, so it wasn't a good look for Floyd, and he needs to bounce back, get it together, go in his next fight whenever, probably in a few months, get it together, win that one, and do better than a C minus. I mean, he's all about the money now.
I mean, I do think that wasn't Floyd's best fight. We've all seen him fight better, but I still do think he's the top boxer, and Pacquiao would stand no chance.
No, he is the best. He is the best boxer. But if he's playing like that against Pacquiao, he has to be on his A+ game against Pacquiao, because Pacquiao is probably his best competition right now.
Which is true, and I think Floyd, he has just like USC, he gets lax with his opponents, and he fights according to who his opponent is, and his opponent they shouldn't have even fought. I don't know why there was a rematch. I know Stephen A. agrees with me on that. I don't know why he took the fight. It was dumb. A waste of money.
It's about the money. When he found out he was going to make $888,000 a minute, he was like, okay, I'll fight. I'd fight too. Maybe I'll only make it 2 minutes, but that's still more money that I get sitting on my couch.
This is true. This is true. Speaking of fights, what's up with all these Rays hitting their wives and fiancés? Like Ray McDonald's being charged, the 49ers being charged with domestic violence too. What do you have to say about that?
Moral of the story from the NFL is you stay away from anyone named Ray. I don't care who they are, you keep your distance, because something's going on in that name. And something that we just got alerted of a few minutes ago is that the NFL Players Association is trying to fight the NFL's ruling on Ray Rice, which is to indefinitely suspend him, ban him from the league. They're fighting that, which you're looking at that like, who's going to fight that? Their reasoning is that he did not get his due process, which is guaranteed by the Constitution. And yes, partly that's true, but there's a video, and a video kind of rules out any defense you would have in court. So, like, let's think hypothetical here. He goes to court with this. He gets his due process. He's all happy because he gets to go to court. What's the defense's argument? We see this video. Nothing his fiance could have said warranted, 3 hits that she got? So this is stupid, and I hope this doesn't go through because he should be banned. There's no place for this guy in the NFL or in anywhere outside of his house. He should just stay in his house the rest of his life because he's a danger to everybody.
Yeah, this is a really hard subject for me to talk on because of the fact that I'm not defending Ray Rice, but I kind of think it was the railing that she hit that knocked her out and not his punch. But
why would she wouldn't have hit the railing otherwise?
It's hard for me to talk on it because it's such a non-NFL topic. Like, he's a football player, and the NFL is dealing with legal matters, which is really weird to me because it's hard for Roger Goodell. He's doing a horrible job, in my opinion. But it's hard for him to back an NFL player and then just take it away like this without repercussions, like we're seeing. And now, like we see with the Ray McDonald, who apparently his fiance says it was nothing. Everyone's saying it was nothing. The 49ers are backing him, which I really like. I like that Harbaugh's backing him because Ray Rice didn't have that support. I'm not saying he should have, but he didn't. But it's hard for Roger Goodell to just determine, well, he beat his wife worse, so he's not going to be able to play in the NFL anymore, versus he hit his wife, but his wasn't as bad. How do you judge what's worse in
No,
the two?
I agree. That shouldn't be a thing. I think there needs to be precedent set, and I think by this Ray Rice thing, he set a precedent. So Ray McDonald should get the exact same treatment. He should be banned from the NFL, banned from the CFL. He should be done. If this is what we want to do, if we want to give them the death penalty in the NFL, then do it. Let this be. Because I think it should be. Because I was actually watching some woman anchor on ESPN had this rant about how 40% of NFL fans are women. And so if you're allowing these women beaters in the NFL, people who blatantly are disrespecting women in the public, everybody knows about it, what is that saying about the NFL? It's giving off that the NFL doesn't respect women. And that may be weird, it may be stupid that that's how it's interpreted, but it's true. And Roger Goodell has to do something about this. Because if he lets this slide, he's creating a culture of this in the NFL. He's saying, you can do this, we're not going to like it, but nothing bad's going to really happen to you. You'll miss a few games, all will be dandy, because that's what he did originally with Ray Rice. He gave him 2-game suspension. Everyone's going to go out and beat their wives if they want to now, because what are they going to do? They're going to get a 2-game suspension. That's nothing. So the fact that he did ban him, that's the right move, and that should be the move for everybody, because there's no place for that in the NFL. If they want to take this opportunity that they're given to be a professional football player and they want to mess it up, if they want to go blow it, then fine. Because there are thousands of guys out there who would kill for that position and would never do anything to jeopardize that. So if you're dealing with people who do want to jeopardize that situation, then good. Go ahead. Leave the NFL. There's no place for you there. Because it'll go on fine without you. You're just a player, and there's millions of you. So, yeah, I like Roger Goodell getting rid of him. He should get rid of the other Ray. All Rays should be banned. And anyone else who wants to lay hands on their wife, please, bye, be gone. I don't want to see you on the football field.
And you know what? If that's how Roger Goodell wants to discipline it, and that's how the NFL chooses, I totally agree with you. But looking back a few years, Des Bryant got in trouble for actually hitting his mom. So players are going to go back and look at that and be like, he should be out. So it's really
and that is an issue because you need to set precedent for this. For some reason, no one ever thought, ooh, what do we do if one of these guys does this or does that? So you're going to give Josh Gordon a year suspension for testing positive on a drug test, and you're going to let a guy like Des Bryant slide or a guy like Ray Rice or Ray McDonald. It's stupid. It's like absolutely dumb. Roger Goodell, this is why there's so much pressure on him, because he has messed up. He's messed up. Another Ray Lewis, he messed up with that. Ray Lewis killed somebody. We're all like 99% sure.
And no one cares about that. No one cares about that.
It got swept under the rug. So you're looking at this, and it's just like, that's weird, you know? It's weird that we never did anything about that. Because if you're convicted of, or if you're even questioned for murder, there's a pretty good chance there's a reason behind that. You don't see me getting accused of murder on the daily basis because I'm not suspect. But if someone does get accused, that's even something to look at. So Roger Goodell, I don't know if there's a place for him in the NFL anymore because he's clearly not doing his job right. Yes, it's supposed to be about football, but we're all human. Legal matters come into things, and he's not doing his job when it comes to that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to correct you. You may be a little suspect, but I'm just saying. Anyway, now that me and Jill have had our rants, I think we've talked about most of the highlights of sports this week. So, Jill, do you have anything to add?
One thing we do need to talk about is that Georgia-South Carolina game. Georgia, the higher-ranked team, was upset by South Carolina, and I need to apologize because I said that South Carolina really was all Jadeveon Clowney and that they were going to suck this year, and I'm sorry. You proved me wrong. Here I am apologizing to all of you. I was wrong.
Wow. Wow. You want to say that again?
No.
All right, so I think Jill wanted to talk about one more thing too.
Oh, sure. I have to give a shout out. Tomorrow's Anthony's birthday, so happy birthday to my new interim co-host, and mine is on Monday. That's why September is great because 2 awesome people were born. So you're welcome, world.
Exactly. September brought you us, so it's the best month ever. Just saying.
True.
But thank you. This has been Second Take with Anthony and Jill. And yeah, remember that other guy that was on the show? I don't really remember his name.
R or something.
Yeah, forget that guy. So.